All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, episode 12. All right, so we had a lot of wholesome kotatsu, just laziness.
Laziness and comfort.
Wonderful.
Tangerines and
New Year's.
New Year's, indeed.
Traditions involving New Year's. We had some really good, also family focus with Toru and Kobayashi.
Yep. That's something that is kind of important, given the fact that Toru's family situation is, how shall we say, complicated, you know?
Right.
Especially with regards to Kobayashi, the whole meeting the parents thing.
Right.
Wouldn't go over very well. Yeah.
But that seems like the kind of thing you build up towards for a finale. Just in terms of what you've got going on here. Plot-wise, it is that, you know, Dragon bumped into Drunk Lady late at night, and Drunk Lady was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now here we are, having our little, you know, awkward family.
Yep.
So, yeah. Without further ado, y'all, let's get into this. Everything is wonderful.
Yep.
Oh my god, Hana, you're eating a little breakfast.
Your
You.
too. Yeah.
じゃあそれで行こう。美味しいのお願いね。10時頃には帰りたい。わかりました。
By 10.
Yeah,
man.
jeez.
行ってきます。
Eating at 10 in general, that's just...
よし。
Yo.
今日も一日頑張りますよ。
Okay. Now, color me a little bit worried, but the way that whole first scene was set up was just like, hey, it's just a regular day, right? Nothing could go wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, yeah, whenever stories tell you a detailed plan of what's supposed to happen, it almost always has to not go that way, because otherwise why would they tell you the plan, you know?
Yep. Because it's how you set up conflict.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's going to be stopped? I'm guessing what it is that Toru is going to get taken away from the house because there are promises that she's making specifically, and they are to Kobayashi, and something has to keep her from making those promises in that regard.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That could go the other way too, though.
It
Kobayashi could like, you know, her boss could be like, all right, you need to do this, you know, today or something, and then...
Yeah, but she only made one promise in that respect there. But, yeah, I guess we'll see. Shoot, it could be both, actually.
Sure. And then they don't even realize it. They come back, like, super late.
Yeah.
And then it's like...
And then Kobayashi, like, actually, like, rushes the meal, and it has some of the tail meat, and she, like, bites in a little bit. Who doesn't sing when they're cleaning? Like, even if your voice isn't even that good, like mine, it's just like, I just do it for fun, yeah. Oh! Yes, that's right, magic! Oh, we must tackle the omurice! Praise the sun, y'all! Praise the sun! For some trial runs. Oh, that's such dedication. Ah! I love to see this internal struggle with it. She's like, making it better with it. I had tail meat, but, you know, it's the most clothes we've seen on Lukoa in, like...
I know. Yeah.
Oh my god, literally! Oh my god, no! That's rude, come on. Because like, yeah, sure, you just insulted me, but yeah, I'll come in here. Ah, the Kotatsu!
Yep.
手っ取り早く材料を良くしてしまうのはどうだい？なるほど。
Basic advice.
Yeah. It's like, whoa, what a twist. Mind blown. What was I worried about? This is incredibly wholesome. Oh my god, wow, that was beautiful.
The one statement from Kobayashi that was completely an offhand
is
comment,
innocuous, yeah.
Yep. But is now like, it must be
she's gonna go hunt the chicken. Like,
yeah, right.
Wait. I'm worried. That was so cute. Ah! Whoa! and her yar? What? Oh my god, wow. Yeah, rice is complicated.
All these things that Kobayashi has never tasted before.
Wow. What? Is this their roleplay foreplay, you know?
Oh god. And then he locks the door.
Quick.
She's gone, finally.
Oh, he was like, did she actually leave? Oh! What a cutie.
That's an anxiety dream right there.
Oh no, this is happening all over again. Oh no. Dragon Slayer and... Oh wait, is this the flashback?
Yeah.
Oh crap. Oh my god. Whoa. Ah! Oh my gosh. Backstory. Extending my deadline. This is amazing.
I love that she actually pulled it out.
Yeah. Because
she's
you
too drunk for that, you know. What's a god to a non-believer?
Yeah. Whoa. 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 Huh? Oh my. Ah! Wait. What? Ah! This is amazing! Oh, and here it is. You come stay with me. Kobayashi's got game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Just... And this is where the dream is imparted. Yeah. But their problem that oh, this is so wonderful. Oh my god.
そのオムライスは美味しかったけど、いろいろ突っ込んだせいか、私はまた美味しいって言いそびれた。
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
A guerrilla event. Oh, yeah, let's grind.
Yeah. No, it's not because I care about you or anything. It's just because, you know, it's, we got work to do.
Instant denial.
Just snappy interaction, didn't even need to ask.
ほんの一時交流した人間ならいますけど、私がその人間に会ったのは滅び朽ちた村の中でした。
Okay.
ドラゴンがこんなところに珍しいな。一人になっちゃってどうしようかなって。お前に興味はない。うせねば殺すだけだ。言葉にこれほど意志が乗ってない殺すは初めて知った。ドラゴンさん。脅すの慣れてないでしょ。脅しなどではない。
And that was that.
ほらね。ね、いいでしょ。ドラゴンってさ、どんな気分なの？していける気持ち知りたいな。
To live free.
その時ふと考えたんです。自分の自由とは何だろう。混沌勢力として生まれ、混沌のままに生き。神聖なるものと戦う。それが終わったら自由ということなのか。自由を手にしたら私は
Big questions.
お前は自由を手にしたらどうする？メイドになる。メイド
Wait, really?
お客様を精一杯の笑顔で出迎えて、ご主人様と恋に落ちたりさ。自ら隷属しているではないか。私が選ぶの。自由に選ぶの。選べたら私の人生も違ってたのかなって見れば、私は選んだことがありませんでした。でもそれでいいと思っていました。彼女とはしばらく雑談して行くのか。ドラゴンさん乗せてってよ。ふざけるな。人間なんぞ乗せるか。ケチ。人間なんぞ死ぬまで乗せん。
Oh, you say that now, Toru.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna be wanting a human to ride you for
ありがとう。
the rest of your life.
一緒にいてくれたこと。うっとうしい人間と別れた。
Annoying human, sure. That human just changed your life forever.
Yep.
自由さを感じたんです。トールがここでメイドしてるのもその人がいたからかもね。そうですね。私にしては珍しいですが、また会ってもいい人間です。よし。
And now here she is.
Yep.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
She got her wish.
Yep. Of course, the Order Dragon would love coding.
I mean, it's the convenience aspect of, you know, Kobayashi kind of getting her kind of an in, right?
True.
You know.
That is very true.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Big Daddy.
Good call, yeah. Parents for finale?
Yeah. It's the natural, like, big plot drama thing that ties back to the very beginning. It's like, why did she have to leave in the first place? In some ways, though, she didn't have to leave. She just chose to leave, I'm guessing. Because maybe what it was that she fought the gods per usual, is less kind of certain about what she's doing. She loses and realizes, oh, okay, if I go back to my family, they'll call me weak or something.
Well, although I'll bet that if Toru's father found out about that conversation with the human,
sure,
been pissed.
Yeah. Okay, we got ourselves the setup for the finale.
Yep.
We got ourselves the backstory context for the scenes in which we had already kind of understood the gist of what went down, but we didn't know the details. And we got even more backstory
that
for
we
something
never
that
even
we
would have expected.
Yeah, that there was a human that specifically incepted the idea of humans being maybe a little bit more than what she expected, and also literally the maid concept. So
and the falling in love with your master.
Yes. The ideal dream was kind of put in there, but it was something that Toru still didn't have some love for humans necessarily, just because she met this young lady. The actual act of interacting with Kobayashi was what made her fall in love with Kobayashi and in some ways be okay with humans.
And by the way,
for the most part,
the fact that Kobayashi was able to pull out the god weapon or whatever it was that had speared Toru just because she was drunk and too drunk to believe that any of this was real. She's like, this is a dream. So, of course the sword comes out.
Yeah, her limiters were all broken in that respect. But there is, I would say, just the added aspect that it wasn't in that deep. The sword has a heavier point, at the top because you could let it kind of angle and fall. But then it might have hurt a lot more than, that could have torn a little bit on the way out.
And also, potentially what Toru was saying could have been that that's an actual mechanic of it, in that because she was in that moment so utterly in rejection of the notion that this was real, the god power or whatever
She's
had
immune
no
to
sway.
it.
Yeah, exactly, right.
See, human beings are full of surprises.
That's right.
The power of alcohol, the power of good sake can carry you through a lot of things. In fact, that was a little meta, like, hidden joke underlying the whole episode here, in that they're like, yes, this nation does have really good rice. They use the magic of selective breeding, and what is sake made out of? But rice. I mean, it's all connected, y'all. It's all actually connected.
But I really like this episode because it goes back, like, okay, the premise that we have for this show, we jump right into it, right?
Jump right into it.
Toru shows up at Kobayashi's door and it's like, I'm going to be your maid. Yeah, we talked about this last night. You were totally drunk, and Kobayashi's like, I don't remember hardly any of that, but okay, right? And then here we are, and we're sort of thrown into the situation, and we see the status quo for the two of them very quickly, and then it goes from there. But we don't see what brought them to that status quo. And even though we had hintings, and then our imagination sort of filled in the blanks of just how much it meant to Toru, we didn't get to see that, and I love it. Yes. I love that we actually got to see it play out here, and what it meant for Kobayashi too, because it wasn't just that Kobayashi helped Toru. Kobayashi was also vulnerable in a way that she definitely would not have been if she wasn't drunk off her ass.
Yeah.
So
this is how it all worked out.
Yep.
It do be like that sometimes.
That's right.
What's really cool is that Toru as a character is one that fills a lot of the space for, I would say, like deep characterization, because this show is not super crazy deep on a lot of its characters. There's a lot of character moments and such, but Toru's is the one that gets the most kind of fleshed out, other than Kobayashi.
Yeah, it's very relaxed as far as the cadence of when those deep moments will happen, kind of a thing.
And in this episode, it was just like half the episode was just entirely focused on those deep moments. So Toru not only was kind of doing her chaos faction thing and, battling the divine, as you do.
Yep.
But Toru was wrestling with the concept of freedom. And this is something that I am really surprised the show went into, was bringing that theme up within the context of Toru wanting to be a maid.
Yeah.
And then they've been jokingly commenting on maid culture throughout the show. And now they're like, well, wait a minute. If you wanted freedom, why would you want to be a maid? Because that's literally in some ways a form of servitude. Like it is in some ways a form of, like, to them, slavery. It's like, whoa, wait, maybe it's really honored and what have you, but why would you choose that? And she's like, that's not the point. It's that I would choose that.
Right. The idea that there's something incredibly valuable about giving of yourself to someone else in such an unreserved way. Right. It doesn't necessarily have to include tail meat, Toru.
Right.
But
although I'm sure that would be lovely.
Oh, definitely, Toru. Very much
all
would
want
like
some
that to
tail,
happen.
at times.
Eventually,
Yep.
But but the idea that here is this thing that is so unbelievably valuable, right? Myself, my time, my my freedom in a lot of ways, right? Like
My
what
Kokoro.
is yeah, exactly. Because what is starting a family in a lot of ways, other than, well, because of taking on responsibilities and such,
Sure.
that does tie up your freedom, right?
Yeah.
And that's a part of growing up, is the realization that sometimes there are things where it is better to give up that precious thing in order to attain something else that you wouldn't have otherwise, like and so yeah, there's something that I feel is very transcendent about that, but then also gets at the nature of why these kind of slice of life, focusing on the everyday is so powerful, right?
Oh yeah,
like it's
because it's all the representation of the choice. Then
exactly,
it's the daily choice that happens when you're like, well, I don't know how to make omu rice. I guess we're doing trial runs.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I don't know, I don't want to work till 10 p.m. But I mean, hey, I'll make sure that we've got that apartment so we can keep on,
just being together and being our
together
little family,
and having that kotatsu and enjoying it and eating tangerines and everything.
Yeah.
It's
really, I would say, special to focus on the concept of freedom within the idea of this dragon who is the most powerful aspect of this world that we've seen thus far. Toru is unrivaled in what she should have from a power standpoint with regards to freedom. However, power is not the end-all be-all when it comes to making choices. It is not.
Right.
In some ways, Kobayashi, this is one of the things I almost wanted to talk about it in a funny way. The fact that Kobayashi was drunk gave her the sense of freedom to which she could backtalk a dragon and convince this dragon not only that she should come and stay with her, but that she should drink with her and be like, let's do this, come on, just us girls. Wait, girl, hey, you don't get so,
let me fondle your tits.
Okay. Wait, what? like that whole bit I think is so beautifully just makes me want to cry a little bit, because you see this person who has a really, really rough life. Kobayashi is just day after day, and then I go to drink, and then I miss my... the fact Kobayashi's life was just miserable.
I forgot when we were watching this episode that was a dream, but it was of stuff that actually happened until I was like, wait, how does this go? Does she actually miss her stop, and then and then she doesn't show up for Toru's own rice? What happens? And then it's like, oh no, that was actually a real thing. So that whole existence of her just being at work and Kobayashi,
anyone would drink.
Oh boy, yeah.
Multiple,
big ass bottle.
And then she gets into this situation where, in some ways, fate just gave her this little bit of
a serendipitous encounter.
Yes, a serendipitous, perfect way to say it. Yes, a serendipitous encounter with someone else who is also kind of seeking that connection. Now, Kobayashi did not do this for the connection. Kobayashi is in some ways completely free in that she was just being herself. Total, raw, unfiltered Kobayashi. In some ways,
substance-induced.
In some ways, we haven't seen that Kobayashi since then in a non-inebriated state.
Because it's a scary place to be if you're sober.
Well, yes, but I think it's actually foreshadowing for what's going to happen when Daddy shows up. Because Kobayashi's going to have to do the sober version of that.
That's scary. That would definitely scary? Be a finale for Kobayashi, not as a show, but as for a character.
For Kobayashi's character,
because even with say Toru, when she mentioned to Toru, hey, I'm not used to being wanted.
Oh my god, that is too real.
So the whole idea of being vulnerable enough to the point of, hey, come stay with me. Yeah, I'm alone. Yeah. Oh, we're
Same.
both alone. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, well, maybe we can be alone together, you know. Like, what's that song? The Piano Man song of the, you know, they're sharing a cup called Loneliness because it's better than drinking alone.
Right,
you know?
right. Yeah. Oh, it's so perfect. This scene of the two of them together out in the glade with the god sword, you know, in them and everything. I almost want to hyper-analyze the scene, but I feel like I just need to just kind of soak and bask in the warmth and just wholesomeness of it, because so Toru comes into the situation with already that aspect of that desire for freedom and to be a maid.
Yeah.
Now, this person kind of, in some ways, contains aspects visually and character-wise of both Kobayashi and the Toru that we end up getting to know.
Sure.
Like little details of like silly stuff from like the one little tooth, you know, kind of poking out.
Yeah.
The red head, you know, the kind of the
fascination with maids.
Right,
you know.
the fascination with maids. The quirky aspect of just being like, oh, goofy dragon, you know, whatever.
Like,
so,
it almost felt like... Or keep going.
I just wanted to say that it almost felt like this was priming for that specific meeting that's signed up for this meeting.
Well, and almost like it's almost like a reincarnation of a sorts. Like, even though, you know, like, hopefully, you know, the other girl's still alive, and we know that she ended up becoming a maid, which is like, yes that's awesome.
Yes.
I'm really glad that they had that in there. But, you know, in that sense of Toru at that moment was not she was not in the right place maybe to accept what the girl was offering, right? Not offering in some literal sense, but the idea of like the request for the ride over the mountains, right? So it was like, no, I would never do something like that, right? You know, but the words that were shared and the time that was spent together, that had an effect on her. It maybe just took a while for it to germinate, right? Yeah. And then when she met Kobayashi, the circumstances were right. The stars aligned. You know,
it was perfect.
Yeah.
I gotta say the aspect of Kobayashi having a spell that she already had that was I don't like using this spell, then becoming basically the choice that is her basically surrendering her freedom. So I want to put it out there that the maid wasn't the choice to kind of be the slave, if you will, or the servant, or the one that doesn't have as much freedom. But it was actually in some ways the turning human.
Sure.
But it was the literal like relational connection with Kobayashi, the love. That was actually the thing that made the daily, day in and day out stuff. Actually legitimate. And
it wasn't just that she had wanted to be a maid because this human girl from the previous world had talked about maids.
Exactly. And that's something that I feel like they're going to get into in the finale, is that Toru has to have kind of it's kind of cliche, but the impassioned emotional speech to the past figure in their life, in this case probably the father, of I love her. Like, I care about this person. This is the proof of that. Please don't destroy that. Please let me choose this. And then there's also the cut a bitch if you also try to there. And then Kana's in the background like, you know, like
bring it, you know.
She's like, I'm gonna die probably, but you know, like I'll zap your ass, like 1, 2, you know.
We get like a Dragon Squad lineup of like, hold on, this human is under our protection. You know?
Yeah, Fafnir's like, you know, if you damage the internet connection in this country, I swear to God, I will curse.
I will rain such hellfire down upon you and your descendants.
Right. I will curse your dragon testicles to the end of time, and you will birth nothing but deformed, wretched beings. like Fafnir's like, I may not be as strong as you, but then he like pulls out this book, and then his buddy is like, you finished part 3. He's like, no, I'm gonna use the spells unrefined. And then they're like, oh my god, you don't realize the ripple effects of the magic. Yeah. Just dumb stuff like that. I want to see it, but I really want to see this moment where Toru explains to us, explains to Kobayashi, explains to her father, explains to everyone the reasons why she chose this on the daily. because the choice at the moment was to become human and to it really have the connection.
Yeah.
But the actual act of, in some ways, like, yeah, she fell for Kobayashi in the moment, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But in the act of the daily, like you're talking about, the Maid activities, those are all expressions of the choice that is continually being made.
Right.
And that's the mature thing that you're talking about, which is you give up certain freedoms and in some ways like really wonderful things in order to let yourself have the opportunity to have these connections.
Right.
So it really is kind of the quintessential dream thing of that one girl from their world.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also something that we've come to realize that Toru has wanted for a very long time. She's been alone for a while.
Yeah, even if she didn't necessarily have any particular vision of what it would look like when she got it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
In this case, it was her joy to choose to be the thing that Kobayashi wanted in the moment there. Mm-hmm. If Kobayashi had said, I would love for you to just, be my, I don't know, something, I can't think of anything, but like something else.
Sex slave, dumb.
No. I'm meaning like you should come like just live with me and be my roommate,
Oh, uh-huh. Yeah.
Kobayashi, Toru would have been absolutely like all for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in some ways we would still end up with a similar situation of where she's like, hey, maybe could I do this thing for you?
Right, because
could I do this bit here for you there? Will you eat my tail meat? That still would have ended up happening even though she wouldn't have asked for it.
And I think the reason why that's important is because then it's something where Toru is needed.
Yes.
It's something where Toru is needed and she is choosing to fulfill that need. Mm-hmm. It might not be the need that she wishes was there, like eating tail meat,
Sure.
But it is still something where that gives her probably a sense of purpose,
Mm-hmm.
If she was just roommates, it would be something where it's like, okay, we can sort of both be independent and doing our own thing together in the same place.
Right.
But if she didn't necessarily have a good vision of what that she wanted that to be because her whole life was being changed, then what?
Yeah. I also just love that they're basically tackling the whole aspect of the Maid, culture basically in Japan, and saying, let's get actually what makes this whole profession in some ways so beautiful. Is that it's someone basically choosing to give their life basically in service to another, and there's something really noble about that. It's really humbling and such to basically go and I'm going to do this for you. Now, obviously, it's a profession. You're getting paid. There's a very specific compensation for this.
And it's not like those maid cafes, because those, it's they have a purpose, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah, but it is not a one-to-one comparison, or it is not equivocation. It's not words!
Similar, but not equivalent?
Yes, thank you, yes. And the rampancy of that is quite a problem within regards to the culture because
that's another conversation.
That's another conversation.
On another topic.
That's one with Taka, yeah.
On another topic, and this is going to sound really weird to say, one of the things that I've often wondered is how do you communicate Kobayashi's Dragon Maid to someone and get them to know that like they should watch it and communicate what it's about if they haven't seen something similar, if they don't have experience with slice of life or things like that, right?
It's a fantastical family doing life together.
Sure, yeah, okay, and that is the best way to do it. But
hey, you don't get into the details of how it happened or anything like that. You just say it's some dragons and a person living together and them figuring out how to do life together.
But if you were wanting to get someone that was used to like specifically like action kind of anime, what if you were to say it's basically super wholesome, lighthearted slice of life?
Too many details.
Hellsing. Because like
you lost me.
Help
me understand.
Those are two about as antithetical things as like possible. How could they cross over? But you've got the supremely powerful being that for some reason had some emotional internal issue that they were able to resolve by basically submitting themselves willingly to another. And they were able to find a better existence in that way than they could otherwise, even though they were the ultimate being of chaos and destruction and things like that, right? Now,
Yeah.
Hellsing uses that for the action, not for the wholesomeness stuff, right? You know,
Right.
But just like, no, Jacob, stop.
So see, that's the thing. I don't feel like you see.
Mhm.
This is the other thing.
Uh-huh.
You're not trying to convince people to watch this show. That's always the wrong way to get people to watch anime. Is you just tell people that it exists.
Sure.
And then you
and
say,
then if it's their thing, though.
no. You just say that you really loved it.
Yeah.
And if they have even the slightest interest in your opinions on anime, eventually they will watch it.
Right, and that way they're you don't, yeah, because one of the tough things with like getting someone to watch a show is you don't want to improperly set up the expectations because of your experience after having watched the show.
Yep.
Because then that will be different than your experience probably.
100%. There's no way that they will have the exact same experience as you with a show.
So if you just say, I really liked this positive thing, here it is, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then they don't even feel like aggressed upon because of your shilling. Like they're just like, oh, cool, you really liked it. That's awesome. Now, you might not have a really, like, high chance of them watching it in the next 2 weeks, but...
Right. Sitting down and watching it with them is a very helpful way of doing that.
But, I'm really excited for this finale. I want to see a squad of dragons all together.
That would be awesome.
You know, showing down with Kobayashi in the front. And Toru right there alongside her.
Some kind of like Gurren Lagann combining energies into the one punch with Kobayashi at the front.
I mean, that would be funny. That would be really funny. But I almost feel like this is the kind of show where if they're going to go for they literally have to like fight back. I would be really surprised there.
Yeah, it seems more like something that would be settled with words. Maybe
It
with some
like
actions to back it up. But
it would feel like it would be a combination. And even though there might be a fight, the end of it would be with words.
Right.
And
yeah, because you would never
yeah.
Well,
and I don't know how much they're also going to tease a second season because I know that there's not going to be a second season, sadly, or maybe there is no plans at least at the current moment. But
the director of this show was one of the people that died.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, let's just wait and see with regards to the finale. You already know because you've watched this, but
indeed.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. This is one of my favorite slice of life anime I've ever seen.
Isn't it just great?
It's so good. It's so very good. And the family relationship stuff is just wonderful. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the finale's episode reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access. So you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And you can also talk with Jacob about the sci-fi novel that he wrote.
That's right. Yeah, Battle Lines. I mean, yeah, it's a thing. You know it. You love it. It's on Amazon. Link in the description. Go check it out.
Now, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.